be surprised and shocked if we make it that far. Just because what I'm seeing is, at least, from an historic history perspective, because I can't foresee the future. If I could, I'd tell you the winning lotto numbers. But the only predictions I can give you of the future is what the past has taught us. As Winston Churchill once said, "For those that do not know their own history are doomed to repeat it." And I take that very, very seriously. Now, let's look at what's going on here and other countries that have kind of done the same thing. The big thing that we had going on recently was the gun grab, the Feinstein bill and everything. Now, thankfully, because of all of you red, white, and blue patriots calling your congressmen and senators, emailing them, holding rallies, protests, because of you stopped it. You stopped that bill right in its tracks. And yes, granted, Harry Reid did decide to, propose another bill, but it wasn't as strenuous as the Feinstein bill. A small victory, yes, but the fight is not over. Because they're still coming after our guns, folks. And they're doing it not under the U.S. flag, but under the UN flag. That's right, the United Nations, the organization that we helped create, is one of our biggest enemies to our downfall of our American empire. And the reason being is the UN Arms Treaty. And recently now Obama has changed his mind, because before he was quite adamant that he was going to sign it. Secretary of State John Kerry says that he will sign it, but now it's coming out that he won't sign it. That he won't sign the treaty. And one has got to think, why would he not want to sign the treaty? And I'll tell you why. Political reasons. He knows if he signs that treaty, he basically damns every Democrat going up for re-election in 2014. So he's just putting this on the side table, folks. Just because he says he's not going to sign it doesn't mean that he's not going to sign it. He will sign it. He'll backdoor it somehow. He's done it before. And we talked about it on other shows about the Moore, Oklahoma tornado. While that was going on, Washington, D.C. was a little busy passing the amnesty bill, which, of course, President Obama signed, and which released 11 million illegal immigrants into our country. He's closing Guantanamo Bay, and he's just letting the prisoners go. Just let them go. Not transferring them to another federal court to stand trial, or anything. Just letting him go. Just letting him go. Now, I don't know about you, but that right there just pisses me off. Just the fact that we held these prisoners in Guantanamo Bay for, I don't even know how long, for well over 10 years on the taxpayer's dime, and we just let them go. We close it, but yet we let them go. Wow. You probably, at least me, this doesn't surprise me. It pisses me off, yes, to no end, but it doesn't surprise me. And with what the Obama administration has done so far to date, they have not only torn up our Constitution, but they threw it on the ground, stomped on it, urinated on it, and are now burning it. That is what the Obama administration is doing. And now Democrats out there, liberals, to you I say, wake up. I know it's hard to look at these facts that I'm showing you, that other people are showing you, and to take it and believe it. Because trust me, I used to be where you were. At one point in time, and don't crucify me, people, I was a Democrat. I was a liberal. Okay? I voted for Obama in 2008 because I was led by the promise of change. And I was led by the promise that the Obama administration would be like the JFK administration, where there would be complete transparency. Boy, were we fooled. Yeah, we were fooled big time. Now, granted, to President Obama's, I will give him this. He did promise change, and, well, he did change things. Just wasn't for the better. But when I finally woke up, and I opened my eyes, and I saw what was going on, from multiple sources, not just the mainstream media. That's the one thing that you got to do right now is unplug yourself from the mainstream media. Don't watch Fox News. Don't watch CNN. Don't watch MSNBC, or any of the other major 24-hour round-the-clock news agencies. Because, one, they're biased. Fox is more conservative, is on the conservative end. CNN and MSNBC are on the liberal end. MSNBC is almost like the state-run media now. And granted, now after the Associated Press scandal, reporters are coming back and, finally asking the tough questions. If you saw recently, the presidential press secretary, Jay Carney, literally get his butt handed to him on a silver platter by the White House press corps, about all the scandals going on and Eric Holder and stuff like that. But then once they dig into him and literally just cut him open, then they start being all nicey nice to him. It's like, no, come on, go in for the kill. Ask the questions. Like, really? Seriously? You're not going to... I don't know if the White House press corps is afraid of what might happen if they ask the big questions. I don't know. I do know when it comes to mainstream media, it's not necessarily the news director or the news producer that actually decides what content goes on the air. It's mainly the advertisers. I'll just flat out tell you, if you have an advertiser that says, well, if you're going to say this about so-and-so, then we're going to pull our ad. Well, of course you're not going to say anything about so-and-so because you want their money. You want them to advertise on your network. So, of course, yeah, you're going to tailor it to them. But at what expense? Now, all of a sudden, you've just ruined your integrity as a journalist. And yes, there is a little thing called journalistic integrity. And it's sad to say, not a whole lot of reporters, at least in the mainstream media, have that anymore. They really don't. But now, we talked about treason and stuff like that. Now, another thing I wanted to bring up too, and I will get Kevin back on a later date here, so we can go over this too. But, our constitutional rights. Now, just recently, I saw an anonymous video, and I question whether it was anonymous, just because they always say, be expecting us. We are anonymous. We are Legion. Well, the video didn't have that in there at all, and it didn't look like anonymous at any point in time. But anyways, there is a video circulating on Facebook that Anonymous is coming out and basically saying, look, November 5th, we want to hold special recall elections of all of our elected officials and have them do an election again. And they also say that this is their way of saying, Declaration of Independence, to break away from the U.S. government, that they're not going to abide by any federal laws or regulations or unconstitutional laws or regulations, which, okay, I'm all for that, and only follow the Constitution as it's written and follow the laws that are stated in the Constitution. Now, granted, like I just said, I have no problem with Anonymous. They do great on, letting the people know what's going on. And, they definitely talk a big talk, but have you really seen Anonymous actually do anything? I mean, really? I mean, other, maybe some, government computer got hacked or something, or, and they'll take credit for it, but I mean, have you actually ever seen Anonymous come out and hold rallies or protests or, or whatever? Because I sure as hell haven't. So, which, the message is all great and wonderful, but, talk is cheap. Let's see you do some action. Now they actually say that they're only gonna follow the laws laid out for us in the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, and that's it. And to that, I wrote in there in the comment post that what about the 10th Amendment? The 10th Amendment guarantees states' rights that they have the right under the Constitution to pass any law that is not covered under the Constitution. Now, does that mean states have no more rights anymore? If Anonymous has its way, yeah, I guess. Because they're only going to follow what's in the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, even though the 10th Amendment says states can pass their own laws as long as they don't interfere with the Constitution. Now, one can bring up the gay marriage debate. That is a 10th Amendment issue. That is up for the states to decide. That is not a federal issue. It is a state issue. Obamacare. Any kind of state health care is a 10th Amendment issue. And, Obamacare, no. No. So, anyways, I got my Facebook blowing up here. Okay. Now, I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to a quick break here, just a quick one. And when we come back, we'll talk a little bit more, and the phone lines are open. So if you want to call in and tell me what your views are or whatever, and we'll keep going from there. So don't go anywhere. The Resistance. We'll be right back, right here on Spreaker.
I was born in Austria, and I lived there 7 years under Hitler's brutal regime. And after World War II, 3 years under Soviet communist occupation. In 1938, the media reported that Hitler rolled into Austria with tanks and guns and took us over. Not true at all. The Austrian people elected Hitler by 98% of the vote by means of the ballot box. Now, you might ask, how could a Christian nation, almost 100% Catholic, to elect a monster like Hitler? The truth is, at the beginning, Hitler didn't look like or talk like a monster at all. He talked like an American politician. We also had gun registration. Oh, the Austrian people they all had guns. But the government said the guns are very dangerous. Children are playing with guns, hunting accidents happen, and we really have to have total control, safety. And we had criminals again. And the only way that we can trace the criminal